Hi, Mohammed. I'm a real estate agent in Florida, and you texted me an LOI for a property that I have listed. And I sent you an email this morning because I tried calling you, but you didn't answer, so I figured I'd just put it in an email. And what I stated was the mortgage you have down for the property is way out of whack. I don't know if there's like a couple of different mortgages that are applied to that property that don't that don't both exist. And my other question was, are you assuming an existing mortgage, or are you taking over their payments, or how does it work?
So we are not assuming the mortgage. We are taking over the payment after the closing.
Taking over the payments after the close. So how does that work exactly?
So we use a subject to take over the payment. So it's in the HUD, and the title, does all the paperwork. I actually got the information from the prop stream, so that actually pulls in the county data. So I think it was a mistake. So the way we buy houses is we use either seller financing or subject to. We step in, take over the seller's mortgage payment, and based on the seller's equity, if it's a small amount of equity, we can pay that off on closing. But if they have a large amount of equity, then we can pay a portion of that on closing, and rest of it gets paid over time with a billing period on it. So that's how we do it.
Okay, so what happens? So if you don't pay off their mortgage, then their mortgage still stands, and then they won't be able to go out and get another one. I mean, it's going to be on their record as they're under their name. Is that so? You take over the property title, but you continue with the existing mortgage. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So I mean, they can get another mortgage. I mean, how soon they're looking to buy another house? That's the question. Are they looking to buy right away, or
yeah? No, they're going to need to move from that place to a new place. It's going to be less expensive though. They're looking to downsize.
So they're looking to downsize. Are they looking to buy right away, or they're looking to buy a year later?
Right away. Right away.
So in that case, we actually did that with one of the seller who actually wanted to sell their house. We actually closed on the deal a month ago on June, the first week.
Right.
He was going through the divorce situation, and he wanted to buy another house after he goes through the divorce. So what we did was, instead of doing subject to, we actually bought the house through lease purchase agreement, which is basically we lease the house first, and then they show the document to the lender, where we make two payments. The first payment is the security deposit. The second payment is the first month rent. When you show that to a lender, the lender can offset the DTI because they see that you are no longer responsible for the mortgage and you actually rented that out. There is a clause inside that lease purchase agreement which basically mentions that after we take over the house for lease, we have the right to execute the subject to agreement to purchase the house within 12 months. So we just waited until he got a loan and bought another house. He moved out to that house. He's going to close on it by the first week of August. After he does that, we're just going to execute the subject to, where we're just going to transfer the title. But before that, we're just leasing out the house to another family. That's what we're doing.
Before that,
right. I mean, we're going to turn it into a rental anyway, so the seller understands that. But depending on what the seller's situation is, he's going through the divorce. He has a loan that's close to the mortgage amount, so he can't sell it on market. So we told him, okay, we're just going to lease it out, and then we're going to sign a lease agreement for 12 months. You can take it to your lender, and you can show it to your lender that, hey, I leased out my house. I'm no longer responsible for this mortgage payment. And the lender sometimes asks for some additional documentation, like they want to see the proof of the payment. So we show them the proof of the payment where, we made two payments. He showed that to the lender. They took it off of his DTI so he could get another loan. He got that loan. He moved out of the house. He got that loan. He got another house. He's going to be closing on it on the first week of August. In the meantime, he moved out already on May. He and his ex-wife moved out from the house on May already. So after they moved out, we actually rented it out to somebody else, to another family within 12-month lease. So we just stopped subletting them. And then once we execute the contract or execute the clause that we can buy the house subject to, after he gets the other loan, what you're going to do is you're just going to be the title holder. The mortgage still going to stay on his name, but it doesn't affect his DTI.
What happens if you stop making payments? Then it's going to go against their credit, right?
Great. So, that's a good question. So yes. So the mortgage is going to stay on their name. We're going to service all the mortgage through a mortgage servicing company. So we're not going to be making payment directly to his mortgage. So we're gonna use a third-party mortgage servicing company who's gonna make the payment in behalf of the seller every single month. They're gonna take out the money off of our account, whether or not there is tenant in there. It's not the seller's business, right? So they're gonna make the payment in behalf of the seller to the lender. And if you ever miss a single mortgage payment, the seller will be notified, and they can try to cure the situation. If not, then if we miss a single mortgage payment and it is documented by the mortgage servicing company, they can take the deed back of the house without going through the foreclosing process. Means that they don't have to go through the foreclosure, send us documents and stuff to take the house back. It's gonna be in the closing document drafted up by the title company, which will say that who will include a performance clause, which basically says that if we ever default on a single mortgage payment, the seller is entitled to take the deed back without any foreclosure process. And in that case, we lose all the investment that we make on the house.
Okay. One last question. I mean, do you ever do this with people who have like more than $100,000 of equity in their house? Though?
Yeah, we actually buying one in Phoenix, Arizona. They have $377,000 in equity. It's $1 million house. What we're doing is we are actually giving them a portion of that on closing, their equity, and then rest of it we actually gonna make monthly payment to them for like 5 years. So they're gonna get a portion of the profit that we get. So we're gonna take over the mortgage payment. We're gonna rent out the house. Let's say we are making about $500 per month. We're gonna split that in half. We're gonna tell them that you take $250. We're gonna keep $250 for 5 years, and at the end of 5 years, we can just 3 to 5 years. You can just go out there, take out a HELOC, and pay rest of their equity off. Or if the market appreciates a lot, we're just gonna sell the house, pay off his existing mortgage and his equity, and we're just gonna make some profit after 5 to 7 years.
Okay, I have to go through this with the seller. I'll get back to you if they're interested.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.